Lightskin, Sherlock Holmes has officially come out of retirement to solve yet some more mysteries. We've got officially the final season of Buzzfeed Unsolved. Unfortunately, we won't be able to hang out with our favorite mysterious duo for much longer, but that's okay. That's okay. Lightskin Sherlock Holmes is on the case. I am here to solve the mysterious death of George Reeves. Don't worry, George. I got you. Okay, your death won't be very mysterious after I've got this. I got you. I will solve it. Now, I apologize again. It may be a slight lag at some points. I don't know why the hell my video or my stream be lagging every time I'm watching videos, but it pisses me off. So I hope y'all are ready. Grab a snack. I got my snack. The hot, fiery flame of hot Cheetos. You know how we do it, baby. You know how we do it. You know how we do it. All right. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. This episode contains sensitive subject matter pertaining to suicide. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health or self-harm, there are resources available online to speak directly with a trained professional or to find local community outreach services. Just a little disclaimer. Expert, you are a freak.
This week, on the season premiere of the final season of Buzzfeed Unsolved True Crime, we covered the death of Superman, or at least a man who played Superman on TV, George Reeves. Do you know anything about George Reeves? I know this is one of the many incarnations of Superman, but...
No, I was always more of a Batman guy.
Who brought this Twitter avatar
Marvel.
to life?
I was Marvel gang.
A grievance about Batman versus
I was
Superman
Marvel gang.
on camera.
My parents, Mark and Sherry Matei, they brought me to life. They said, "Ooh, this one's gonna be good for the internet."
Jesus Christ!
Anyway.
And they were wrong. Let's get into it. George Kiefer Brewster. Hell of a name.
You're gonna get into banter after saying 3 words.
I think
Thought
it
his name
can't
was
go
Reeves.
without saying that that's a fun name. George Kiefer Brewster was born in Woolstock, Iowa on January 5th, 1914. When he was 15, George moved to Pasadena, California with his mother. There, he excelled as a musician, an amateur boxer, and an actor at the Pasadena Playhouse, where he was...
My guy George was a triple threat, bro. Multi-talented in the entertainment district. He's just like me, bro.
discovered by a casting
like
director.
me.
He signed a contract with Warner Brothers and was cast in a minor role in Gone with the Wind. In 1943, George played the lead in the film So Proudly We Hail and was on the cusp of stardom before being sent to war. After returning, George struggled to regain traction in his movie career and shifted to the burgeoning world of live television.
Fun.
Yeah, that's basically today's version of becoming a streamer.
So he shows up, there's an orchestra or something.
Yeah, I'm
They're
sure.
doing ads for cigarettes.
Doing a little dance, shaking his hiney.
I'm gonna be Superman one day. Punch me.
That's gonna be gift or GIF depending on what camp
I
you're
don't
in.
know what you're talking about.
In 1952, Reeves was cast as the lead in the television show Adventures of Superman. Today, being selected as the lead of a comic book-based series means you're financially set. But in the 50s, neither comic books nor television were the big moneymakers they are today. While the show didn't make Reeves rich, it did make him famous, specifically as the face
So
of...
he's famous, but he's not rich. Nice, dude. Sounds like some of these fake-ass Instagram influencers, but they fake-ass rich. They not rich, but everybody knows who the hell they are.
Superman. Sorry to
Nice,
stop us
man.
again. That's the
Imagine.
word combination.
I was just gonna say, stinks.
Yeah, when you're famous and not rich, not a good thing
No.
to be. Because he can't go to the places where people will be priced out.
I guess the one benefit to it is if someone stops you in a park, you could be like, "Yes, I am Superman."
Unfortunately for Reeves, because everyone knew him as the Man of Steel, Reeves found it impossible to book any non-Kryptonian roles. George began to struggle with alcohol and sought ways to take better financial advantage of being Superman. Reeves began appearing in promotions in his Superman costume and booking exhibition wrestling events. While they provided a little extra cash,
Nice.
these extra appearances also involved assuming more danger. One unverified story featured a young boy attending a Superman appearance with a loaded gun, hoping to see if bullets really did bounce off his hero.
Oh my
According to the story,
God.
Reeves quickly explained to the boy that while the bullets would indeed bounce off of him, they would then ricochet into the crowd and take down innocent bystanders. The fib worked, and the boy was disarmed.
That's very smart.
I wonder what got this kid in the mindset that this
Yeah,
guy's
you
obviously
dumbass
an
little kid,
imposter. Like,
menace.
he's treating Superman like
That
Santa
kid is a
Claus. Like, I've never
menace.
thought I'm gonna put the fireplace on when Santa comes and
And
sees
who
me. That's
allowed that child to just have a loaded firearm? Where the fuck did he get that from?
special.
Yeah.
I'd hate to see what happens at this kid's house on Christmas morning. Another lie! By 1959, Reeves had appeared in over 100 episodes of Superman. He had begun dating Leonore Lemon, a New York socialite who had previously been married to a Vanderbilt heir, and reports even state he and Lemon were making plans to soon be married.
She's a gold digger. She's a gold digger. Right off the bat, I've been paying attention. You may be thinking, oh, Chris, he's not paying attention. He just smashes my Cheetos. No, I've been paying attention. She's a fucking gold digger. She's a gold digger, right? They just said she was married to the heir of the Vanderbilt fortune, and now she's getting her back blown out by a movie star, right? He may not be rich. She don't know that. She don't know that. All she knows is that he's handsome and that he's famous, right? So she can reap the benefits of that. She's a gold digger. So already she's on my suspect list. Already. She's something sus. I'm telling you.
On June 15th, the couple left Reeves's home at 1579 Benedict Canyon Drive in Beverly Hills for dinner and drinks. House guest and writer Robert Condon, who was planning on writing a book on Reeves, stayed behind. Reeves and Lemon returned to the house around 11 p.m. Around midnight, Reeves climbed the steps to the upstairs bedroom, retiring for the night. Around this time, reports say Lemon went to turn on the porch light, a signal meant to indicate the home was open for visitors, even though it was after midnight in the early hours of Tuesday morning.
Cheeky little system. Turn on the porch light. Stop on by.
Is that a thing? Maybe that's a 50s thing? I know now I turn on the porch light to ward off would-be intruders and to let them know that I mean business.
See, the porch light thing is weird because I always thought of the porch light as, you know what I'm saying, you have the porch light on when it's nighttime and you're at home and you're awake and shit, right? But if you're going to bed and you going to sleep, then you turn the porch light, you turn it off because there's no reason to have it on. You know what I'm saying? You just there to illuminate your front. You got to go take out the trash or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You go outside chilling. So you have it on when you're awake, but you turn it off when you're sleeping. So why did he turn it on when he was going to bed? That's a red flag right there, I'm telling you.
I was going to say, you got that katana drawn and ready.
Lemon's inviting light apparently did the trick. As soon, two neighbors swung by, William Bliss and Carol Van Ronkel. There were rumors that Van Ronkel was having an affair with Condon, but Bliss was likely a total stranger in the Reeves household. Around 1 a.m., Reeves came back downstairs, quote, in no mood for a party, end quote. Reeves was reportedly visibly irritated and threatened to throw Bliss out of his home.
That's fair. It's 1 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean,
If anybody showed up to my house on a 1 a.m. on a Tuesday, I'm calling the police.
have you actually ever said get out of my home to anybody?
No,
I
that
have a
sounds
theory.
thrilling, though.
I have a theory. The fucking girl did it. The girl did it, right? Because they lived there together. So he went up at midnight. He went to bed. She turned the porch light on. The neighbors, they pull up, right? They're having a chit chat. They're having a good time downstairs. Dude, he wakes up at 1 a.m. He's like, why the hell is there all this commotion in my house? So he goes down to see and he kicks these people out. You know what I'm saying? So I think the girl, what's her name? Lemon? She turned that shit on. I'm telling you.
I know, right?
Get out of my home! Go!
Please see yourself out.
That's good, too.
That's good. Or just do one of these. You can leave now.
Don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you.
After a bit, Reeves apologized for his bad mood and turned to walk back upstairs. Police reports describe what happened next. Lemon, Condon, Van Ronkel, and Bliss listened as Reeves climbed the stairs. They heard his bedside drawer slide open, and then a single gunshot. Bliss ran upstairs and discovered the dead body of George Reeves on the bed. When police arrived, Lemon, Condon, Bliss, and Van Ronkel were drinking together downstairs. Reeves was found naked, lying on the blood-soaked bed with his feet on the ground. He had been shot in the right temple. A bullet casing was found under his body, and a 9mm German Luger was on the ground between his feet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He did not do that to himself. He didn't do that to himself, bro, because the bullet, how did the bullet get underneath him? You know what I'm saying? He landed on top of it. You know what I'm saying? And he was butt-ass naked. Nobody strips naked and then kills himself. Nobody does that. You know what I'm saying? You just do it whenever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, bro. This is fishy. This is very, very fishy.
Blood splatter traveled all the way to the ceiling, where the bullet was lodged.
I assume they're drinking nervously at this point.
I feel like maybe, though. I hear a gunshot and my husband's upstairs. It's not, let's pour another cocktail. Also weird that the one person who ran up the stairs was the guy he didn't even know. It was Bliss.
He probably went up, saw it, and was like, look, there's
Okay.
nothing we can do here. You need to call the police.
I think that's fair. Maybe they were rattled, and you've been rattled enough.
Oh, sure.
You need like to pour yourself a cold one.
Yeah.
That's me in every haunted house I go into. And I can barely get the glass to my lips. It just goes all over my clothes. So, we'll see. Let's see where this goes.
Okay.
With the crime scene set, it's time to go into theories about what happened to George Reeves.
Okay.
Our first theory is the same conclusion drawn by the Los Angeles coroner's office.
Did he kill himself?
Suicide. According to the coroner's report, quote, the position of Reeves's body on the bed, the angle of the bullet's path, and the autopsy findings all point to suicide, end quote. Reeves had put the gun to his right temple and fired. Simple as that. Somewhat suspiciously, Lemon, Reeves's fiancée, jokingly predicted George was going to kill himself moments before his death.
What?
The police report states that when Reeves left to go back upstairs, Lemon told the downstairs group, quote, he is going to shoot himself, end quote. When the foursome next heard the bedside...
What is this witchcraft? How the fuck did she just... I told you I did not trust this trifling hoe. I told you.
drawer open,
I knew
Lemon
it.
went further, saying, quote, he is getting the gun out now, and he is going to shoot himself, end quote. According to the LA Times report the next day, Lemon claimed she was, quote, only kidding.
She was
As
kidding,
she grimly
right.
narrated the death of her fiancé.
Do you think she kept going like, well, I bet he shot himself. They're taking the body out. Oh, I guess he's dead.
First off, even if she is joking, it is weird that she had enough context to make that joke, to assume that that's what he's going to do. If you have a fiancé who clearly is distressed, you don't go upstairs to check on him?
I don't even bother. I'm having drinks with my friends.
It's just an odd scenario is all I'm saying.
Strange.
Either she knows something or it was pure bad luck. I have a theory already. Chad, the crazy thing about Lightskin Sherlock Holmes is we're not even halfway through, and I already got a theory. I already got a theory. I already got the fucking theory, dude. I'm telling you.
Many point to Reeves's stalled career as a potential explanation for taking his own life. The only non-Superman roles he'd had of late were either greatly scaled back or featured him wearing heavy disguises, so audiences wouldn't associate him with the Man of Steel. Turner Classic Movies, however, has reported that rumors about Reeves's stagnated career may have been exaggerated. TCM suggests that, apart from upcoming seasons of Superman, Reeves was being considered for the role of Detective Milton Arbogast in Alfred Hitchcock's upcoming film, psycho. Also, want to point out, and it goes without saying, a lot of times we see this in these cases where we have suicide as a theory, and people often say, well, he had no reason to commit suicide. He didn't show any signs. That's often not the case. You don't need a sign to commit suicide.
Yeah.
I think we could put the kibosh on that line of thought right now. Apparently, Lemon knew, though. I could say that.
She seemed to have a pretty finger on the pulse on that one.
I'm not saying that she's Nostradamus, but she sure seemed to have the inside scoop. According to E.J. Fleming, author of the book The Fixers, which in part details the circumstances around George's death, there were also several incongruities with the way in which the body was found.
Interesting.
Reeves was totally naked, meaning he'd either had to have been naked when he went downstairs, a detail that the guests likely would have remembered, or between returning to his bedroom and shooting himself, he would have had to strip to the nude, an uncommon occurrence in suicides. The location of the body, bullet, gun, and shell casing relative to one another are also somewhat suspicious.
That's what I said.
Fleming argues that George most likely would have fallen forward, not backwards onto the bed. For the bullet to make it to the ceiling, George's head would have had to have been nearly horizontal at the time of firing.
That's what I was...
For this to have been true, one would expect the gun to have been found either on George's side or still in his hand, not on the floor between his feet. Finally, the bullet casing would likely have been on the floor, not underneath the body, according to Fleming.
Bro, this is all stacking up. This is all playing into my theory, bro. I'm telling you, I got it. I think I already got it solved, bro. I just need to make sure there's nothing I'm missing. Nothing that I haven't heard yet, you know what I'm saying? But I think I figured it out already.
The way gravity works and the way the positioning, if your head has to be horizontal like this, you're leaned over to an extent, so I would think you would fall forward.
So his head would have to be sort of facing the ceiling, but then the force of it, I would think, would sort of knock him back a little.
Oh, because of the actual, the force of the bullet hitting you.
Yeah.
I guess then the gun could fall between his legs. Yeah, so maybe it's possible. I don't think it's likely. Reeves's mother publicly contested the suicide theory, convinced her son would not have killed himself, and there were no reports of a suicide note. There are some reports that, before a full autopsy could take place, the body had already been embalmed, or at least washed, meaning traces of gunpowder that would have been on his hands or face had he fired the gun himself were long gone.
We've talked about the LAPD a lot and sort of the whole system. They seem like they've long been not up to regulation on a lot of things.
We've also seen the commingling of the studio system with LAPD, and we've seen how that could kind of work out. So, not saying that that's the case here. It's a possibility, though. Some reports also detail unexplained bruises on his body, and according to Fleming, George's trainer who had seen him earlier that day did not see any bruises on him.
He didn't have any bruises when I was beating the shit out of him earlier in the day.
He didn't have any bruises when he was training with me. I just don't think that's a thing. The bruises could appear later. He could have bumped into something. I've stubbed my toe, ow, I think I broke my toe.
Did I break it? Yeah.
Maybe I fall, hit the coffee table.
The coffee table shatters.
And I
you
broke
got
something
cuts all over
that was
you.
maybe priceless and not replaceable. And I had to explain it wasn't
Mari
intentional.
comes home, you're in a pool of your own blood.
Yeah.
She's like, Ryan, what happened?
We've all been there, is what
You're
I'm
like,
saying.
it's no big deal.
Were you there? How did you know? Did you bug my house?
There is one single piece of evidence that I'm waiting for. If they reveal it, if they lay it down, bro, if they expose the one thing that I'm waiting for, then I know exactly what happened.
Is that George was accidentally shot, perhaps by Lemon. This would, of course, mean the 3 other people in the house covered for her, which seems like a bit of a long shot, but bear with me. Lemon was known for her, quote, Vesuvian temper tantrums, and despite the fact that she claimed she and George were about to be wed, George apparently never publicly acknowledged this. An article in April even reported their wedding was off. Perhaps Lemon was upset at George's lack of commitment, resulting in a fight where Lemon accidentally shot George. Bolstering this theory's case is the fact that, in addition to the one that had passed through George's brain, 2 other bullets from the same gun had been shot through the floor of the bedroom. When asked about these, Lemon claimed one was from an accident a few days prior when she was, quote, fooling around with the Luger. No explanation was ever given for the other bullet. Despite this, LA Police Chief William Parker told the press he believed the extra bullets were of no significance.
Interesting.
Soon after George's
Interesting.
death, Lemon left for New York,
There's 2
never to
more
return
bullets.
to LA again.
First off, they absolutely are of significance because this is somebody with the murder weapon who has shot said weapon in the room the person was conceivably murdered in. I feel like that's pretty significant, but I'm not a cop.
It's fishy business right there. I still don't think there's funny business going on here, but I'm inching away from that.
The body was washed. She shot the gun.
I'm
2
inching!
times.
Our final theory is that Reeves was murdered, possibly the
that's what
result
happened.
of being ensnared in a web of bitter lovers. While reports state that Reeves was set to marry Lemon, he had only begun seeing her about 6 months before his death. For most of the 1950s, George was practically married to a different woman.
What?
One Tony Mannix.
What?
Practically married was the best
Dude,
the
these
couple
plot
could
twists are crazy. There's a plot
do,
twist.
as Tony was already married to one Eddie Mannix. Eddie was an infamous fixer in Hollywood who built a career for himself solving, quote, problems for MGM co-founder
Just like
and
me.
studio head Louis B. Mayer. Such problems ranged from gambling to the mob, from abortions to even rape and death. Eddie's life even loosely inspired the film Hail Caesar. Because of this job, Mannix would have been very familiar with using dirty methods to get what he wanted. He had grown up with Unsolved alumnus Bugsy Siegel and was said to have connections
mobster.
with LA mobster Mickey Cohen.
Nice.
Eddie was even thought to have had his first wife killed in 1937 in a car accident.
I would say in the echelon of dudes who you don't want to fool around with his wife, probably up there.
Yeah, it's like sleeping with Al Capone's wife.
Or like, I don't know, a Shaq.
A shack.
Shaquille O'Neal sleeping with his wife.
I don't
probably.
like this one. I don't like this one. I don't like this whole mob shit, bro, because there was 4 other people in the house, you know what I mean? So how would some mob guy get into the house without those 4 other people knowing, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like he could just quietly sneak into the house, bro. Because they were downstairs and they could hear the drawer, they could supposedly hear the drawer of the table open, right? So if you can hear a drawer opening, right, you can hear every sound in every room and throughout the house, you know what I'm saying? So they would have heard if somebody else was in the fucking house, you know what I'm saying? So I don't like this mob thing.
Well, he could sleep with his own wife.
No, if I were to sleep with his
Oh,
wife.
if you were to sleep with Shaquille O'Neal's wife.
Despite Eddie's serious line of business, George likely did not feel threatened by Mannix while he was dating the fixer's wife. In fact, by all appearances, Eddie fully supported Tony and George's affair. Eddie would sometimes tag along with Tony on her dates with George, sometimes as a third wheel. Other times,
This
bringing his own
dude's a cuck. Dude's a cuck, and you telling me he planned out this mob murder of George? No. Stop it, bro. He likes to watch his wife and get her back blown out by fucking Superman, bro.
mistress along. There are even reports that George would go on vacation with the Mannixes, with Eddie bringing another woman in addition to his wife.
Exactly.
At the
That's
time
what
of
I'm
his
saying.
death, Reeves's house, car, even his clothes had all been paid for by Tony. Due to Eddie's tolerance and even encouragement of Tony and George's relationship, it's not the affair, but the disillusion of the affair that leads some to suspect either of the Mannixes. Tony was reportedly inconsolable after Reeves left her for Lemon. According to rumors, she even stole George's pet schnauzer for revenge, knowing it would break his heart. Some suspect
What?
Eddie could have planned
You
George's death
dog-napping?
out of devotion to his upset wife. It's also possible Tony herself commissioned George's death with some of Eddie's guys, without Eddie's knowledge. Lending credence to this theory, author E.J. Fleming details that George survived a series of suspicious accidents in the months before his death. which would
Really?
jive with Eddie's modus operandi.
Really?
In April, for instance, George was in a horrific car accident on the street he lived on. He crashed into a cement pole and was partially ejected through his windshield, resulting in a days-long hospitalization. A mechanic found George's car had its brake fluid seemingly drained.
I know
Interesting.
it doesn't take a lot to get me paranoid, but this is a one-way ticket to Paranoid Town for Ryan Bergara. If you drain my car of brake fluid, don't do it.
Interesting. This is. I'm getting a
Have a
twist.
bad dream about Ryan.
I'm
all the
getting
time.
a.
You
I'm
wake up
getting a
and go,
twist.
Oh God! Oh, and then you're in the corner.
Some sources claim the gun that killed Reeves belonged to Eddie, though the police stated Reeves had bought the gun. Unfortunately, the gun ended up being less helpful than it could have been in the investigation. The firearm had recently been oiled and did not retain any fingerprints. Casting doubt on the murder theory is the fact that the bedroom upstairs reportedly had no windows, meaning an assassin would have
That's what I'm trying to tell you. How the fuck is a mobster supposed to break into a house if there's no windows in the house? You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to walk through the fucking front door. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, I think I got it. I think my theory has changed a little bit, but I think I got it. I think I got
past
this.
the 4 people downstairs to get to their target. Some people point to William Bliss's appearance as being suspicious for this reason. Perhaps Bliss, who, recall, was essentially unknown to Reeves, but nevertheless at his house at 1 a.m. on a Tuesday, was used as a distraction while a second man went upstairs to kill Reeves. This would also explain why Bliss was the one to dash upstairs after hearing the gunshot, despite being the one least connected to the actor.
So maybe in this scenario, I guess he is in cahoots with somebody who hasn't been named. Maybe someone could have played the long game, hidden in a closet,
Sure.
and just waited.
What is this room with no windows?
Yeah,
that sounds awful.
It sounds like Vegas. Why would you want to stay in a
what?
casino?
Put some windows on that thing, bro.
Perhaps no one was as convinced that Reeves had been murdered as Tony Mannix. At 4:30 a.m. on the morning George died, Tony placed a call to Phyllis Coates, who played Lois Lane in the first season of Adventures of Superman. Coates claimed years later that Tony told her, quote, "The boy is dead. He's been murdered," end quote. In 1999, publicist Edward Losey, who had become close to Tony when she was in her 70s, detailed being in the room when Tony, who was, quote, absolutely terrified of going to hell, confessed to a priest that she and Eddie had Reeves killed. Losey
See,
claimed
I'm
that the
telling you,
priest told
bro, my theory is coming together. I got it. I think I got it, bro. I got
not
it.
to tell
I got it. I don't
anyone
even need to
about
hear
the
more. I got
confession,
it.
or it would
I got it.
endanger his life. Losey only came forward after he
Run that back.
it
Who the fuck is this
was
guy?
priest that she and Eddie had Reeves killed. Losey claimed that the priest told him not to tell anyone about the confession, or it would endanger his life. Losey only came forward after he believed anyone who could do anything to him was already dead. Of course, the big mystery remains. How could a murderer get away with 4 potential witnesses sitting downstairs?
You befriend an older
I got
woman.
it.
Okay.
She's like
I
in her
got it.
70s.
I got it. I
You
got
go
it,
to
bro.
the
I
retirement
fucking got it,
home.
dude.
Every
What do we do
Friday,
there?
you start this beautiful friendship. You play chess with this old woman.
I killed JFK. Is that where you're going with that?
Yeah, it was.
I'd be like, God damn, what was it like?
You would ask, what did it feel like when
What?
someone says I murdered somebody? I think you
What?
might be a murderer. Is that all that's been holding you back?
I would only ask about JFK because it's such a historical...
He's dressed like the Joker, so I'm not
happening.
surprised.
You know, if she was like, I killed a dog, I'd be like,
He's wearing corduroy.
push her in the
All
pool and
psychopath.
leave.
Only psychopaths
While
wear
Reeves
corduroy.
may have been frustrated with his career, it's hard to overstate the impact he had on the public. 35 million people regularly tuned in to watch him fight evil as Superman. Unlike his character, however, the man behind the costume was not invulnerable, and his life ended in tragedy. Whether George Reeves died by suicide, accident, or murder remains unsolved.
All right. Boom. I've solved it, chat. I got it. I got it. Here is what happened. This is a fact. This is everything. I'm about to solve the case for you right here. Lightskin Sherlock Holmes is gonna give you the scoop, right? Here's what happened. Here's what happened. They fucking killed his ass. That's what fucking happened. Let me tell you what happened, right? So there are 6 people. Other than George, there are 6 people involved. It was his girl, right? It was his girl, the writer guy that was like writing a fucking book or whatever, and then that couple, right? The neighbor couple, right? The 4 people that were downstairs, and the other 2 people were the fucking was that other couple, right? The the guy who's like he's got like ties to the mob or whatever, and his wife was fucking George, right? So here's what happens. Here's what happens, right? George doesn't want either of these women, right? And he was supposedly sleeping with the 3rd neighbor lady, right? So I feel like George is just out here just clapping cheeks, bro. He's just running through as much booty cheeks as he possibly can, right? He's not committed to any of these women, right? So here's what I think happened. Here's what I think happened, right? George breaks the heart of that one girl. What the fuck is her name? What the fuck was her last name? Hannix, right? The girl, the Hannix girl. The Hannix girl, right? He breaks her heart, right? He breaks her heart. She said, so her husband, right? Her husband's a problem solver. He solves problems for the dude from the movie studio, right? So he knows how to solve this problem of his girl having a broken heart, right? He's a fucking cuck, right? He didn't mind his girl getting her cheeks clapped, but now he doesn't want to see her super sad, right? So what I think happened is they tried to kill him, right? That car accident, they tried to kill him, but it didn't work. So I don't think it was some mob guy who came into the house, shot him, and left. That guy, the Hannix guy, he's got money. He's got a lot of money. He works for a fucking movie studio. He's got mob ties. He's got bread. They live in fucking Beverly Hills and shit. He's got bread, right? The 4 people that were downstairs all had some type of grudge against him, right? The 2 women, the 2 women, right? Fucking, except for the writer guy, right? The 2 women, they're mad at him because he doesn't want to commit to either of them, right? And then the other guy, he just doesn't fucking like him, right? They just don't like him, right? So I think the Hannix guy, the Hannix guy hired and paid the 4 people that were in the house to fucking kill him. He said, look, none of y'all fuck with George. George pisses you off. He pisses me off. So why don't we take care of this situation? You know what I mean? What I was waiting for, you guys were hearing me. I was saying, hey, I'm waiting for the one piece of evidence. I was waiting for them to say something about life insurance. If he had a life insurance policy, I would have 100% blamed fucking Lemon. She killed him for the fucking life insurance policy because he's handsome and he's got a lot of money and he's famous, right? But I think the dude hired the 4 people in the house to shoot him. And the story that they told the cops was all coordinated, right? They had said that they heard him walking up the stairs. They had heard the drawer. The gunshot went off. The one dude immediately runs upstairs and they see him butt-ass naked, bro. I don't think that's what the fuck happened at all. I don't think that's what the fuck happened at all. She turned on the light. What happens is he goes to bed. He goes to sleep, right? He goes to sleep. He probably sleeps naked. This is the 1950s, okay? The 50s, they were some weird people, right? They were racist and all kinds of stuff, right? So what I think happened was, is she turns on the light. That's the signal that says, okay, it's go time. Let's do this, right? So she turns on the light, right? The people, they come over, right? That couple, that neighbor couple, they came over. The writer dude was already there. They came over, right? They're chilling. They're probably planning what they're gonna do. Blah 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 blah. Whatever, right? George, he wakes up. He wakes up, and he puts his clothes back on, and he goes downstairs to see, hey, what the fuck are you doing, right? What the fuck are, like, what is this? Why the fuck is there a commotion in here? He was irritated, right? Blah 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 blah. He was trying to kick the one dude out and shit, and then he was like, you know what? Whatever. I'ma just go to bed, right? So he goes upstairs, goes to the bed. He goes to the bed, right? He strips completely butt naked, because that's how he sleeps, right? Nothing wrong with that, right? He's sleeping, right? So he sits down on the edge of the bed. He sits down on the edge of the bed. One or many of them or all of them, one of the four, two of the four, three of the four, four of the four, right? Some combination of the four of them bust in that bedroom, pop him. They fucking popped him, right? They popped him right in the side of the dome. So that's why he immediately fell backwards, right? Because he was sitting up. They popped him on the side, and then he just falls backwards, right? The casing gets ejected, lands on the bed, and then he falls backwards on the bed, right? Falls backwards on the bed, right? There's no fingerprints on the gun, magically, right? There were two bullet holes in the ground that were supposedly from accidents. From accidents, right? So I think they most likely went downstairs and probably popped the rounds off. You know what I'm saying? Like in some type of what if they were celebrating, right? They said the authorities came in and they were fucking drinking, right? So what if they were celebrating, right? They popped him, he was dead. They're like, yay, he's dead. We don't gotta worry about him no more. We get a payday, right? So whoever had the gun was like, woo, pop, pop, right? Pop, pop. Bullets go through the ceiling, and one of them goes through and goes up into the fucking ceiling and lodges itself in the ceiling. I don't think that bullet that was in the ceiling was the one that killed him. I don't think so. I think they were celebrating, pop, pop, boom, bullet goes through the ceiling and lodges in the ceiling on the top floor. That's what happened. Boom, case solved. The mob dude was pissed that he broke his girl's heart, so he hired the four of them to execute him, and they go get paid, and they got away with it. Boom, case closed. FBI, I hope you was paying attention, because I just solved this for you. Now, I don't know, this was the 1950s. I don't care if they shriveled up raisins. You better arrest them immediately. Arrest all four of them and the two mob people, because I'm telling you, that's what happened. That is what happened. Boom.